Hey guys, what's going on? Steven back again, and I'm back with another 40k video from Major Kill. Now, who doesn't like a good mystery? And that brings us to the topic of today's video, which is the 5 greatest mysteries in Warhammer 40k lore. I am sure in the world of 40k, there are a ton of mysteries. Obviously, the only one I can think of is obviously who are / what happened to the missing primarchs. And that's the only one I can really think of. I've heard many theories about what happened to them. I heard a theory of birth defects. Does that really warrant being completely erased from any and all records and not even knowing what they look like? I don't know. I've heard theories about they did something really bad. Horus did something really bad, and we still know about him. Unless at the time, what those primarchs did was considered extremely bad, and maybe it was just easy to sweep it under the rug type of thing. Horus can't really sweep that under the rug now, can we? You know, Horus Heresy, what are you talking about? That never happened. I don't know what you're talking about. I've heard theories about they died in combat. Once again, does that also warrant being completely expunged from records? I mean, unless they got killed by Tau and melee, then that would make sense. You know, oh, can't have that shame. You know, dying in combat's fine. Dying in combat to Tau and melee, yeah, that's great shame. That makes sense. I've also heard a theory that maybe one of them is still alive and in, the jail cells under the Golden Throne. What is it, like the Black Cells or something like that? That is another theory, that one of them's down there. Who knows? But yeah, that is one mystery that I know of. And here's the question to you guys. Do you think we will ever find out what happened to the missing primarchs? Or at least, what did they look like? I think that'd be kind of cool to see, you know, what they at least look like. You know? Let me know if we'll ever find out what happened to them. Alright, so anyways, let's get on to the video and see what the 5 greatest mysteries in Warhammer 40k lore are. Here we go.
G'day guys and gal. The lore of Warhammer 40k is disgustingly vast.
Yes, it
Hundreds
is.
of full-length novels and codexes featuring thousands of fleshed out characters.
Didn't they just finish the Horus Heresy books?
Plot lines, many of which are like intertwined and cross over. In this vast canyon of potential content, there are many mysteries. Some are points of curiosity. Others could shake the setting to its core. We don't know which is which because, you know, they're mysteries. But that won't stop us from checking them out and trying to Sherlock Holmes this bish. Before we get started, I'll be the first to admit that I definitely said yes to way too much stuff last year. 2 merch drops, a shitload of sponsors, the plushies, the calendars, the major minis competition. We got it done, because that's what we do, but I can imagine it would have been a bit of a shill fiesta for you guys. I'm not going to apologize, because the only reason why I can spend 100 hours a week making free content for you legends is because of
He's got a lot of really cool figures on his shelves.
I do recognize that it was too much, and I've cut it back right down for this year. Focusing purely on the minis, less sponsors, and the focus of today's plug, major kill merchandise items. We have just restocked the protein shaker, mouse pad, dice set, magnets, and stickers, all of which I personally worked with a designer for and are all great quality. I'm not really aiming to make much profit off this merch, the margins just aren't there, but I personally really enjoyed putting these together and would love to see some of you guys neck a beer from a Major Kill stubby holder, like this. Oh fuck, it's 10 AM. This merch won't be restocked again, so if you wanted to grab some fun novelty merch for half of what you'd get it elsewhere while supporting the channel, then this is a great way to do it. Today we'll go over 5 of the greatest mysteries in Warhammer 40k lore, explaining the lore surrounding these mysteries, before then providing some solid theories as to what they could actually be. Let's get into it.
Maybe we'll get answers to them eventually one day.
Something Warhammer really loves to challenge is the concept of right and wrong. If you're doing a morally good thing for the wrong reasons, is that still better than doing the morally bad thing for the right reasons? Does Chaos have a point when it says that the Emperor is a hypocrite and his Imperium is built on lies? Well, it all really depends on the mystery of what happened at Molech. When the Emperor was making his primarchs, he had the knowledge and mastery to forge their bodies with his own psychic power and mastery of genecraft, but he didn't know how to give them that special primarch source, the power to shape the galaxy and bend destiny. After all, we have seen Primarch clones, and while their bodies are still impressive, they die super quickly as they don't have that literal plot armor derived from that Big Mac source. It was on Molech that the Emperor entered the warp via a special unique portal, did something in the warp, and came out of it with the knowledge and power to finish making the Primarchs. The Chaos Gods say that the Emperor made a bargain with them, however then proceeded to go back on his bargain during the Great Crusade, thus why Chaos went all psycho ex-girlfriend mode. However, I trust Chaos about as much as I trust George Pell with my nephew's asshole, so I wouldn't say that is spot on.
Okay, this is a pretty badass picture.
All we know is that he went in, came out empowered and aged, went back a few centuries later to close the portal and put a massive garrison to defend it, and then Horus later broke through the garrison and went in himself and came out empowered. However, we are never told what they actually did in there, which is frustrating as it would pretty much answer the big question. Was Lorgar right? Was the Horus heresy justified? After all, if the Emperor's empire is founded on the deal with the devil, then it can't really take the moral high ground. What we can theorize is that Molech wasn't just any warp portal. He could have just done it pretty easily anywhere else. I believe that the Molech portal took you to a special part of the warp, not the Sea of Madness, but almost like a central hub where you could view, access, and communicate with warp entities on your own terms. I don't think he made a deal with the Chaos Gods per se. As I have said in other videos, I believe he took 20 minor warp gods, one for each Primarch, and used them to create the souls for his sons and give them their special source. Hence why each Primarch is so unique and volatile. If the Emperor could have helped it, I'm sure he would have made 20 Guillimans or Rogel Dawns. There is a lot of evidence to support this theory that is in a different video I made, but I believe in order to get these minor warp gods, he had to trick or undercut the Chaos Gods, making them his enemy from day one and not his partners. However, since nothing is confirmed, as for now, what happened on Molech remains a mystery, and a big one at that. Speaking of Primarchs, by far the fandom's favourite mystery is the mystery of the 2 lost Primarchs. There were 20 legions, 20 or 20 Primarchs if you count Amigon. However, at some point, 2 Primarchs were lost in such a terrible way that not only were all traces and records of them expunged forever, but even their memory was psychically wiped from the Primarchs who knew them. When Rogel Dawn was given his memory back briefly, he fell to his knees and asked Malkador to take it back off him. When Horus tried to utter their names in front of Malkador like the little shithead teenager he was, Malkador force choked the fuck out of him and nearly killed him right then and there. It's so mysterious, like whatever they did had to have been worse than betraying the Emperor and becoming a demon, since that is what half his sons did, and there are still plenty of records about them. To compound this mystery further, only the Primarchs were expunged and deleted. Their legions were allowed to be incorporated into the others, mostly the Ultramarines, and had no recorded gene seed issues. So it does make you wonder what those Primarchs could have done. The lore has actually given a surprisingly high amount of information about them. Nothing specific, however it's implied that Leman Russ was responsible for killing one of them, whilst it appears that the Rungdung Xenocides may have been responsible for the demise of the other.
I gotta learn more
when the
about
Emperor
that.
met each of his sons, it was heavily implied that to defy the Emperor and refuse to join him would result in the Emperor annihilating his own son. Jagadai understood this, which is the main reason why he joined the Imperium in the first place. Angron got a pass because he was a rage monster that the Emperor knew would come around.
However,
if there was a Primarch raised by Xenos that loved them and wanted to protect them above all else, then you can start seeing how an issue may arise here. There is every chance that the Rungdung were able to reach one of the Primarchs before the Emperor, turning him into their warlord, which would explain why the Rungdung was so overpowered. However, GW is keeping this one tighter than a nun's vagina, so we can't really confirm anything. All we know for sure is that the 2 lost Primarchs were very, very naughty boys, and whatever happened to them was an absolute tragedy. Something a bit left of field now, we have the mystery of the Terminus decree. Foresight in 40k isn't super reliable.
The what?
It can change on a whim, with even the best future seers often getting things wrong. The Emperor is one of the best, yet even for him it's difficult to see what will genuinely happen. Imagine you can see an infinite amount of futures. You can pretty much actually see none, as there are too many to choose from. So you can try act to make the ideal ones occur, but that doesn't guarantee it. Hence the Emperor had a shitload of contingencies and plans to try and mitigate the less ideal futures. Stuff like the Talisman of 7 Hammers is proof of this. Another contingency the Emperor made was the Terminus decree, a set of instructions handwritten and placed in a wooden box that has been locked away within Malcador's tomb. Only the Grandmaster of the Grey Knights knows of its existence and how to access it.
Oh, wow.
It is said that the instructions contain a secret that will either destroy the Imperium or save it. The only rule is that the box can only ever be opened when the Imperium is doomed, and all other options and contingencies have been exhausted. It is the ultimate last potential salvation, but what that salvation
seems like a big gamble.
is unknown.
Not gonna lie, that seems like a big gamble. It could either save the Imperium or doom the Imperium, but can only be used in like the dire moment. Kind of a huge gamble there. Like, hey, we need this, and it's either going to save us or doom us, even though we're already kind of doomed as it is. It's a huge gamble.
Very mysterious. I assume it's not a great salvation though, since it says that accessing it at the wrong time will bring the Imperium to its knees. Some people believe it is the Emperor's true name, hence more or less a way to control the Emperor. Others believe it gives the command to turn off the Golden Throne manually, thereby activating the Talisman of Seven Hammers. Others believe it is the instruction on how to release the Void Dragon. Nobody knows for sure, but what we do know is that it's not the solution mankind would want. Maybe it's a method to also fuck up whoever is destroying the Imperium so that both sides lose. Maybe giving the survivors of humanity a chance to slowly rebuild. Overall, a very interesting mystery that I doubt we will ever uncover, as that seems like some total end times shit. Stepping away from Imperial mysteries, we now have the mystery of the Tau ethereals. The ethereals came out of absolutely nowhere. One moment the Tau are banging sticks together and genociding each other's tits off, the next moment a bunch of immortal super Tau with mind control pheromones appeared out of fucking nowhere, united the Tau Empire and took them from a bunch of scattered tribes to a super galactic advanced empire in just a couple thousand years. It makes like zero sense and seems incredibly unnatural, and as of yet has not been explained in the slightest, creating said mystery. This mystery holds a lot of weight though, as without the ethereals, the Tau would have either been destroyed by each other or would have been destroyed by some minor Imperial fleet passing by. Instead, they are now a galactic player who have the most potential out of all the other races. There is two prevailing theories about the ethereals that do kind of tie into each other. One is that the ethereals were normal Tau that the Eldar kidnapped, modified, educated, and sent back to the Tau to unite them as a potent weapon against chaos, and a potential future ally. After all, the Tau's small souls and lack of psyches mean they are incredibly difficult to corrupt or possess. Their mostly atheist doctrine also helps with this. The reason that not many Eldar mention this or seem to know about it is that it could have been a small subsect of secretive Eldar doing it. The second theory is that the Tau are actually the surviving Necron tier that never went through biotransference. This kind of makes sense, as the Tau have short lifespans, just like the Necron tier, and are incredible builders and technological wizards. You know, just like the Necron tier. There are other similarities,
I mean, the one
both races
right there on the right, the far right, kind of looks Necronish.
This theory could also tie back to the Eldar one, with the Eldar potentially having a few Necron tier they fought during the War in Heaven locked away in stasis. None of the Necrons remember what the Necron tier looked like, so they wouldn't be able to identify them either. This is all completely unconfirmed, and it's just a bit of theory crafting, so take it with a grain of salt. However, the mystery of the ethereals remains the most important mystery in the Tau Empire. You know, obviously other than if the Tau fuck each other via the orifices on their foreheads. The final mystery, the spookiest mystery, is the mystery of the ghoul stars. Although in Warhammer it's easy to fall into the trap of the warp and chaos being responsible for all the unexplained nightmare shit, fortunately that's not always the case. The ghoul stars are horrifying and mysterious as it is. However, in the 34th millennium, there was an event called the Pale Wasting, the Harrowing, in which 1,000 human worlds were consumed and destroyed by Lovecraftian nightmares from an interdimensional rent in space located within the ghoul stars. The coolest part is that this doesn't seem chaos related at all, but some other nightmare. Over 10,000 Space Marines were killed before the nightmare could be stopped and turned back, with only the Nova Marines chapter surviving. Despite likely saving the Imperium, or at least a massive chunk of it, the Pale Wasting has been kept classified in secret, with only a small inscription on Terra telling of the Nova Marines' glory. Despite the Pale Wasting being driven back, most of the region remains infected and uninhabitable and very spooky. There's a flayed one Necron kingdom there, a bunch of literal fucking ghouls, and even the Tyrian High Fleet that flew through it became twisted, showing that the influence of the Wasting remains. The Imperials stationed the Death Spectres, one of the spookiest loyalist chapters, to act as eternal guardians of the stars, the first line of defense should the Pale Wasting return. They themselves are a mysterious chapter, using a glass throne to do something mysterious and important. Not gonna lie, probably using it to keep the rift between dimensions closed, but once again, just another theory for just another mystery. And before anyone asks, yes, the Black Templars did once yeet into the ghoul stars and try and blow it up. That's weaponized autism for you. In lore, there used to be an Inquisitor literally called Obi-Wan Sherlock Clouseau. Let's get that man on the case. If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the channel,
Well,
then
that was
Patreon
very
is the place to
interesting.
be, where there is not only a boatload of Battle Mace 40 million hentai, but also a bunch of live action nude cosplay. Hit the subscribe button and hit the real subscribe button for more mysterious content. Join the Discord for more memes and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Okay, so there we go. There are the 5 greatest mysteries in Warhammer 40k. So that is very interesting about the ghoul stars. So some really creepy stuff is out there. Very interesting. I might have to try to see if I can learn more about the ghoul stars. And what was it, the Nova Marines? That sounds very interesting. I wonder if... so what, there's still things out there in this chapter of Space Marines, or just kind of like keeping it at bay type of thing? Either way, they do look kind of cool. They're a loyalist chapter. Pretty cool looking. Yeah, and that's very interesting about the Tau and the ethereals being possibly made, you know, by the Eldar, or possibly being somewhat Necrons, because I mean this one here does kind of look Necronish, if you will. But yeah, that's a very interesting one as well. The ethereals just coming out of nowhere, and now you got the Tau Empire, you know. And then we got the one with the Emperor and that box and stuff like that. That will be very interesting. So like all sorts of different things could be inside of it, like the Emperor's name, and then you could possibly control the Emperor. Like, I don't know how that would work. Yeah, what else was he saying? Like the talisman of what? The 5 hammers?
True name, hence more or less a way to control the Emperor. Others believe it gives the command to turn off the Golden Throne manually, thereby activating the talisman of 7 hammers.
So what is the talisman of 7 hammers? But either way, whatever's in that box can only be used at the Imperium's, you know, dire moment, you know, which is very interesting. And then, of course, yeah, what else do we have? The Emperor, the Lost Primarchs. Oops, what was that cool picture? Yeah, that looks pretty cool. That looks pretty badass. I don't know what this is behind. Well, it's just a picture, but yeah, the Lost Primarchs. That is very interesting. Not wanting to join the Emperor. I don't know. Would that? I don't know. That's a very interesting theory, that you know, not wanting to join the Emperor, and that would cause him to be completely expunged. I don't know. Doing something bad. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine on that one. And then the very first one here, which is actually it's a really badass looking picture. Of all the Chaos Gods and the Emperor. You know, the Emperor, and creating the Primarchs and stuff like that. I could see that being like, he went in, captured 20 demon souls, or souls. Yeah, what did they say? Demon souls, and distributing them to his sons. And that's why they're all different and unique in a way. I don't know. It would be very interesting. But yeah, all these theories, very interesting. Oh, and I gotta learn more about, what was it, the Rungdung Xenocides? I've heard that like plenty of times in this video, and I think 1 or 2 other videos. I think he mentioned it. I have no idea about it at all, so I gotta learn more about that. What are the Rungdung? So anyways, there we go. There are the 5 greatest mysteries in Warhammer 40k lore. What do you guys think? Do you think any of these mysteries will ever be solved, or will they continue to just be mysteries? Let me know. So anyways, on that, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. That'd be awesome. Remember, feel free to subscribe to my channel. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description box below. And, of course, leave me all your thoughts and comments. Which mystery did you like the most? And, obviously, do you think any of these mysteries will ever be solved? Let me know. And, other than that, yeah, just stick around. More videos are on the way. And I will see you guys next time.